kept seeing a car go into the water. All day they've been showing me reruns in my mind of Adventures with Purpose. VP's gonna find her in the Prosser Lake.
We have found Kylie Rodney's vehicle. Again, our search for Kylie at Prosser Creek Reservoir on August 21st at 10.
There are plenty of questions and very few answers after 4 students at the University of Idaho were found murdered in their off-campus house.
It's like if you look at Ted Bundy's eyes and you look at his eyes, they're the same. Maybe a little bit lighter. The one thing that I keep seeing is curls. So I don't know if he has curly hair or wavy hair, and that might be when it's grown out. I think he elongated, like his face might be a little bit longer. There's a reference to a pointier type nose. He honestly looks a lot like Ted Bundy, but like a jacked up Ted Bundy. Like not as handsome. I keep getting like a security guard or a badge. Like a Brian or something like that. It's because they are going to catch him. Because I'm seeing him in an orange jumpsuit. He wasn't as smart as he thought he was. Okay. He's probably going to go to jail for this eventually. I keep getting December.
The name Richard again.
I also get the name Rick. Damn name Allen is coming in again.
Jailed 50-year-old Richard Allen in connection with the double murder. Teen best friends Libby German and Abby Williams went hiking on a trail and never came home.
Done on November 20th, 2019 at 7:14 p.m. Quentin, but I'm seeing trash and I don't.
9:42 Wednesday morning. Quentin Simon's mom told 911 her little boy was gone.
I do keep hearing a trash truck though. Then I keep hearing the trash truck. It's almost, that's one thing I can't get rid of is the twisting of the trash bag. And so then I'm like, well, is he in the trash? Okay. Unfortunately, I hate to say that. I do hear landfill could be the...
Well, new tonight, a heartbreaking search underway in Georgia for a missing toddler. Police are sifting through trash at a landfill for the remains of 20-month-old Quentin Simon.
And I felt like he was going to be found. That was earlier in the day.
A 3-year-old boy found alive and in good health.
And I said, like, within 3 miles, but I'm not seeing him being hurt, and I'm not seeing someone coming up and getting him.
And I said, were you alone? Yes.
The main 2 things I keep getting is the wooded area and the shed.
Well, to take cover in that shed.
Late into the night to find.
I see him running to the woods. Oh, I keep getting the repeated image of him running to the woods. Okay. So maybe he decided he wanted to go play and then he kind of got lost in the woods. Be within 2 miles. I keep getting a reference to the edge of the woods. And so he's still alive because I'm not using him to get this information.
Right.
Around in the woods like I can't find my way out. I'm stuck. And I said he's in a bush.
Okay. I went across a field of grass. I came up on some woods. Sure enough, I went in the woods and about 100 feet from where I was at. I think he was in some stickers. There's a lot of stickers and all there.
Tonight in our Missing series, a case that we have heard a lot about from our viewers.
He wants to take me down the road to like a neighbor's house or something, like another farm. I also hear neighbor. He said he knows this guy. He knows him. And he's a neighbor. I don't know what the friends come in.
Suspect, 58-year-old James Brenner, who also happens to be Dylan's closest neighbor in the remote desert area of Lucin.
Hi guys. So, I have something a little different today. I wanted to talk about a few things. I wanted to show you guys a few things, stuff that I got prior to this case. And I wanted to I pulled some more cards. We're going to go over the cards again and see if there's any kind of new extra information that comes in. If I channel anything or get anything else, I'll let you know. There's a lot of stuff out there, so it's really hard to continue doing readings on this because it's a lot. There's a lot out there, but I've tried to kind of stay away from it. But the biggest thing I wanted to tell you guys is this is going to be solved soon. I feel like at least within the next 4 weeks. That's the way that it comes across. It feels like it's soon. Like I've been checking every day because that's how soon it feels. I kind of feel like how I felt with Quentin a lot of the time. And so
because they keep showing me like the guys standing at a podium and they have pictures up of the people, and they're blurry to me, so I can't really tell you who they are, but they show them like an orange jumpsuit, so they obviously have them. So whenever they show me that, or they show me news, because I was also getting like a news thing, then that tells me that something in the news is going to break and that we're going to have a police conference soon. Now, the way that I take it and the way that I perceive it, because remember, it's all in how we perceive information. So do keep that in mind. And any of this can be past, present, future, anything that I get. It can always be symbolic. It's not always literal, and it can come around the case, around the victims, and around the perp. But anyways, the way that I perceive it is that they're going to make an arrest soon. And it's funny because I posted that on the community page yesterday, and then afterwards, all the true crime channels started saying it. So Spirit has showed me that this is going to be, I feel like at least January, like there's going to be some pertinent information that come out. So there's a couple things I want to talk about besides that. So as you guys know, when I do Autowrites and sometimes even cases, sometimes I'll get information beforehand. Like I got Quentin's name and where he was about 3 years before he was born. And there's a video of that on my TikTok, but I'm actually going to put it on here to kind of show you an example of how that works sometimes. Now, I never have control about what comes in and how it comes in and what case it relates to. Like, I always try to stay as focused as I can, but Spirit does what they do for a reason. So there's a couple of names that came up in Rachel Morin's reading, and I had a really hard time with that reading for some reason. Like, I don't know, maybe I was getting future information, didn't realize it, but I kept picking up a female in that one. I kept seeing a female in like in jail, like you know, a Hispanic female. And so that kind of reminded me of Quentin's mom. It's kind of weird. I'm like relating the two things. So, you know, when I do Autowrites and when I do cases, like I said, a lot of the names, sometimes the names don't fit, sometimes they do. I never know what a name is going to mean. I feel like I got a lot of pertinent names and initials in the last couple readings that I've done we've been able to connect the dots. So I have a little bit of ADHD, so if I go all over the place, I apologize. But what I'm trying to say is that I did receive a couple of names in Rachel Morin's case back in August. And these are two people that have been circulating. Now, I am in no way saying that they are the perpetrators. I am in no way pointing fingers. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. I am in no way saying that these are the people. So please don't take it like that. I got the names because Spirit wanted to give them for a reason. Either it was going to come out, this case was going to happen, and they were going to be surrounding the case, or they are connected to people that have something to do with it, or there's a connection somewhere. So just because I get names, like sometimes I'll get the name of a brother, sometimes I'll get the name, you know what I mean, of a acquaintance. It's not always a perpetrator. So I do want to say that when I play this for you guys, please do not take it as, oh my gosh, Spirit gave that name and this is exactly who it is. I had to show you guys because, like, I don't know why we got it. But Spirit gave it for a reason. Spirit always gives everything for a reason. And it's so important that it came up. Like, it could just be, again, be validating the fact that this case was going to happen, and I picked up on stuff going on around it. Or it could be that these people linked, these, you know, the people that, the names that I got are linked to the perpetrators, okay? It doesn't, like I said, names don't always mean they're the perpetrator. Sometimes they do, like, allegedly, like when I get Rick Allen and stuff like that, like sometimes it is, but sometimes it's just acquaintances. So I'm going to add, first I'm going to add Quentin's because I want to show you guys how that all took place. That has nothing to do with this case, but it's just an example of how sometimes it happens with me. I don't know why. Spirit works with me in a very weird, different way to where they like to bring in future information on future cases sometimes. I don't know why. And I'll get more information on some cases than I will on others. This one feels a lot like Idaho 4 for me. It feels a lot like Delphi for me. Like, I just want to freaking figure it out like everybody else. I don't know why it's like that. Like, the cases choose me. I don't choose them, but it's like I can't sleep. Like, you know, I figured this out yesterday because Spirit told me. I said, I know I got that name before. I know I got those names before. I remember getting them, but I couldn't remember where I got them. And they told me Rachel's. So I went and looked at Rachel's, and lo and behold, there it was. And so I was like, is this something I put out? Spirit said, yes, go ahead. It's going to be okay. So again, I just want to
throw out there that I am not in any way pointing fingers. I'm not in any way saying that they are involved. I'm not in any way saying that they are the perpetrators. I am saying that this came through for a reason, and it is possible that they could be connected to the perpetrators, or they may know something about the crime. Okay? So let's keep that in mind, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and you'll see Quentin's first, and then you'll see the two from Rachel after that. Quentin's is just in there to kind of show you how it's happened before, and then now we have this. Done on November 20th, 2019 at 7:14 p.m. Q and O. I don't know, I hear something like Quentin or Quentin. I've heard that before. I don't know if it fits here. It might have been Trenton, but I heard Quentin, and I've gotten Trenton before, but I don't know if this pertains to her, but I've been getting those darn bottles a lot. I hear bottles, which is really weird, and I don't know, I have to say it, because it will repeat if I don't. I'm not sure if it fits here at all, but I'm seeing trash, and I'm not sure, but I've gotten it a lot, so it fits someone.
9:42 Wednesday morning. Quentin Simon's mom told 911 her little boy was gone.
I keep getting like hair strand. I keep getting brown hair too for some reason. I wonder if they're gonna find a hair strand on her or something. I keep getting like a piece of like hair strand, but it's brown, but it's long.
Okay.
Brown ponytail.
Oh, wow.
An A. I kind of like get like I keep hearing a name like Annalise, but I don't know if I'm hearing that right. I also get like a Julian or something like that, and I don't know where that fits either. I also hear the word predator. I also hear a gunshot, so not sure on that either. I don't want to tell you how I perceive it and get that wrong. So the month of January comes into play. All right. So that was mind-blowing, and I had to show it to you because it is mind-blowing, and that was in August of last year before any of this ever went down. Trip out. I don't know why the front of my throat keeps hurting. Okay, so from what I understand on both of the readings is that they were trapped. They had a message to go somewhere, and they were probably going to go do another deal or meet somebody, and they were trapped. They were kidnapped. They were moved to a different location. They were unalived, and they were, then dropped off at the apartments for a specific reason. I feel like the apartments hold some kind of meaning, and I'm getting chills on my head as I'm saying that. So I don't know. I'd be curious who lives there. I'd be curious if anything like happened there. And I feel like revenge or payback kind of thing too. Like there's a lot surrounding like this. Like there's the D's, there's money, like there's a lot of different things. It's a freaking wormhole of stuff. And we have organized crime and all that. I even pulled the organized crime card. So I pulled cards, and I'm just going to tell you if I get anything in regards to like as I'm doing this. But again, it's hard to get more stuff because there's so much out there. People will sit there and say, oh, this was out, that was out. I try to stay away from everything. So one thing I can say is I always seem to pull the same cards when it comes to who's involved, but I pulled a couple extra ones. Now we're going to go this one by one, and I'm going to go ahead and put my camera up, and let's see. I know people don't really like the little one there, but I don't really like it big like that. That angle is not very good for me. So this card actually, and this is all alleged. Again, entertainment purposes only, all alleged. All remember, psychic readings, they work as puzzle pieces, okay, guys? Like it's puzzle pieces you got to put together. They're going to protect me from knowing certain information so that I can be protected. But usually they wouldn't let me work this kind of thing, but I guess because everybody else is, it's not like just me. You know what I mean? So it's a little different. But spirits, they give names and stuff, but they're not going to give me a name of the perp in this situation, because it's kind of like they're related to bad people. Anyways, things have timing. It's just the way that it is. I get what I'm meant to get, how I'm meant to get it. So we should revert back on all the readings because they all have puzzle pieces, right? Whether you use my readings with somebody else you trust or you just use the readings that I've got given, there's names in there that I feel are important. I feel like there's, you know, people that are fronting, that are, you know, doing things that are illegal, but they may put themselves off as like a good guy. So I kind of get that feeling with it too. So this goes, I feel like this kind of goes like there, like there may be people again that did this, but it's almost like I keep getting someone pulling the strings. I always get that control card, the puppeteer, someone pulling the strings. So we have assassination. So again, the assassination card came in, and I always get a murder for hire. I always get that kind of situation. So we have this one actually flew out of the deck. So you know, that's the second time I've gotten that card. We all know what that means. And the way that they were unalived, it was an assassination type thing. Because if you know, I don't know if you guys know this, but JFK was also assassinated behind the right ear. If you look up a lot of the assassinations, that's what it is. So I don't know if that's symbolic for the assassination. I'd love to know if there's a specific reason for it, like if it means something. Then we have the devil card. Obviously, the person that did this was the devil. I always get that for like a bad person. I haven't got this card before, but it's the false person card. So there might be like false people being thrown around, or there, you know, we might get not the person behind it all, but just the person that actually did it. But there's the false person card, the reptilian card. So I always get this with someone like a snake in the grass, like someone that's maybe, you know, they thought they could trust at some point, but he's a snake in the grass. And I also, I think in the other readings went back to like supplier, a boss, that type of energy. But someone that you think you can trust, but you better not turn your back on them. You better not like go against them in any way, shape, or form. Because yeah, I don't know. Then we have the success cards. This is someone that's successful, and I feel like they've been successful, and that's in one shape or form or another. So they might be successful in the game. They might be, they might actually be a successful person. This card always comes in. And again, if there's multiple energies, I could just be picking up the ones that's like pulling the strings, because this could go a little bit deeper than what we realize. Like we might not know the whole case, because you know, people like that are usually protected. But I always get like, I get the affluent card too. So maybe someone a little bit higher up in the chain, but it could be the child of someone that's affluent. So remember, I was getting like a father energy, and like either, I don't know, I was getting like a father-daughter last time. Like maybe the father has a daughter. I don't know why that was coming in. I don't know. So we have the affluent card, which is, I always get that. So it's someone that's like, there is somebody involved that's more affluent. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have minions, because he could have minions that do things for him. And it could be like, again, the child of an affluent grandparent. It's kind of weird because it goes child, affluent, grandparent, that's a male. So again, the grandparent card, so there's an older male behind this. There's someone that's older behind this. And that came in before, that came in the reading. So again, in the readings, maybe picking up on multiple energies, but there's someone that's older that could be they can be a grandparent, and it can be, they might not even have their own kid. Like they could be a father of the community or known as a father, like that type of figure. And we take someone that's like, you know, it all depends on how you want to perceive it. Like I may not perceive these cards right. Okay, so it's a matter of perception. But it's interesting, the child of an affluent grandparent that's a male. All those cards flow together. So we have assassination by a devil, false person, reptilian, that's successful. And then we have the child of an affluent grandparent that's a male, and then we have family. So they might have a family, or they may have, you know, whenever people are in like these organized crimes, like they're thought of as a family. So this could be part of like someone in that circle that they thought were like, you know, the family of like, it's supposed to be like a brotherhood, right? Most of the time. So if you want to take that as like part of freaking family or someone they considered family. Okay. It doesn't mean the family is involved. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not taking it in that way. I'm not perceiving it in that way. I'm perceiving it as someone that, like, you know, we all have like people that we're close to that we consider like that. And again, organized crime sometimes is considered a brotherhood, although you better not screw up in the brotherhood. So we have royalty. So we have the affluent card, we have a royalty card. So there's someone bigger behind it. Has to be. And then we have accomplice and partner in crime. So we know that there's more than one person involved. There might be a few people involved. And we have organized crime. So right there, someone that's in the organized crime. And it can be a parental figure in the organized crime. Someone that's considered a parental figure or a dealer or someone like that. Someone that is, you know, a little bit higher up that called the shots. We got murder for hire last time. So he really upset someone. And what's interesting is we have the friend of the sibling and the brother. I mean, I did get a reference to the brother in the last Autowrite. So, like, again, we should be putting all of those readings together because it's all coming in as puzzle pieces. But it could be someone that the sibling knows because we have the friend and the sibling card together. And then we have the sibling, friend, and father card together. So then there's the father card again. This is someone that's like a father figure, or you could say like godfather, I guess you could take it as, or like it's a father figure of some way, shape, or form, because that card always comes in. And now the grandparent card comes in, so it's someone that's older, that's like pulling the strings, or that's involved in some way, shape, or form. It's almost like you need to take care of this, because then we have a terrorist, like I always get, like when I get the terrorist card, someone that, and that's come through every time. So if you look at organized crime, we have terrorists in the organized crime world. Like that's just the way it is. And we have multiple people. There's multiple people involved in this. Yes, we see you on the camera, but there's probably more involved. Like they were probably held up. There's probably one that pulled the trigger, but there's probably, you know, it took like a group effort to get them where they wanted them, and they trusted someone to meet them. I know that Telegram thing is out there, but I'm just saying, I just heard Telegram, so there's might be someone in there. I don't know. So this is what I'm interesting in. This is what's interesting. So we have the breakup card. Now I don't take that as like a romantic breakup. I take it as like maybe breaking apart from his business, breaking apart from the dealer, breaking apart from the business, that kind of thing. Like that's kind of how I take it, because it's almost like I said, they wanted a better life for their son. So I feel like they were trying to save and maybe leave and run. Like I always get that feeling. And so maybe he was breaking apart and trying to do his own thing too. And then like maybe there's healing here as well. But then there's fear. Like I think like maybe he was afraid to do it. There's some fear involved. And then there's propaganda, like fake news, like, you know, the rumors and everything going around. Like not everything's going to be real, like propaganda. Okay. So this was a sole contract. Unfortunately, that means that there was no stopping anything from happening. This was a sole contract. I hope you guys can hear me. So memories, there may be some memories with this person that's involved, like, or the minions, like, because I said it feels like there's someone pulling the strings, and then there's the minions that did it, but it's almost like they were told to do it or something like that. But I also get like there's, I don't know, the memories could be anything in the past as well. You could take it as. And then we have the control card again. This card comes in every single time. So someone's controlling the situation. Someone's pulling the strings. If you look at that, that's a puppeteer pulling the strings. That's how I look at it. And then we have the happy card. So they were happy to control the situation. That's how I take it anyways. Then we got top secret. So it could be that it's because the police are holding stuff close to their vest, or there's some things that are being hidden. Or there might be some stuff that's classified even in regards to that whole situation. I don't know. But the thing is I don't know why they would take this sort of risk, because it's like when this comes down, more is going to come down, but I don't think they thought that it was gonna get this big. Like there's a message behind this, because look, there's a revenge card. There's the revenge card. So there's some sort of revenge in there. And it was definitely premeditated, definitely planned. And I'm wondering what 22 stands for. I'm just wondering if there's a meaning for that, but it's definitely premeditated. And there might be some jealousy involved, like maybe he was making too much money and the big dogs didn't like it. And of course, with anything, we're going to have some corruption. That could be corruption within the organized crime, or it could be that there's, we all know that they've got people in their pockets. And the regret card, there could be like some regret around this, and the way that I don't really think the people that are, well, there might be someone. I feel like there's gonna, if they get them, like someone's gonna, I don't even want to say that because they don't normally snitch. But there might be some regret coming from somebody. Then we have ritual. Now, I took this card as like this was a ritual, because when those assassinations happen, there's a ritual behind it. The way that this was planned out, the way that this was done, it was ritualistic in nature. Where they put them, there's a meaning behind where they were parked. They could have done anything with that card, taken them anywhere. So why did they park them there? The crime of passion card, it could be that it could be the fact that there's a female involved, or it could be like if you take it as like the passion was the D's and the money, and this is like a crime of that. Like you could take it like that too. If there's depends on how you perceive the cards. And the affair, maybe he was going away from his supplier. Maybe he was going away from, like, he was switching things up. That it could be like that. It's not always a love thing. Then there's a debt. Like maybe I don't know if he really had that much of a debt to pay, or maybe he did, and he was trying to run from it. So there's definitely money involved, whichever way. Gaslighting, manipulation, and of course we have the rumors. There's all kinds of rumors going on. Paranormal, a lot of paranormal people are doing this. I think a lot of the readings that people are doing are probably accurate. But there was a meeting. There was definitely a meeting, and that's what I feel like. I feel like they were going to meet them somewhere, and they felt safe enough to whoever they were going to meet, or it was like, you better come here and talk to me too. And so, or maybe it was his supplier who was picking up from manipulation, but there was manipulation with that meeting, so they were manipulated to meet them somewhere, thinking that they were going to, everything was going to be fine. It was going to be not a big deal, right? And then we have the cover up. There was some cover up done. There was some wiping down, stuff like that. I don't think they cleaned up good enough. I don't think I'm getting chills in the back of my head. I don't think there's definitely a cover up in some way. But things are going to be exposed. Probably not all of it, but a lot of it's going to be exposed. There might be an exposed cover up because those two come in together. So intuition. I think that there was at a point where they had a weird feeling something was going to happen. That's how I take that card. He had a little bit of weird of intuition. And then there's also some kind of distraction. There could be a distraction going on, things made to look a certain way, and they're not. If stuff was taken from him, that might not be the whole reason this happened, but it could be made to look like a burglary, or they just took it just because it was there, and that's how they are. Not how people are. There's trauma involved. Down the rabbit hole, always get second time I've gotten this card. Everybody's going down the rabbit hole. Everybody. So it's one of those Idaho 4 cases. Everybody's trying to figure out who did it, blah, blah, blah. I wonder if they were thinking about getting married. I don't understand this card. All that much. It could be. I get the travel because obviously they traveled there. They traveled to where this happened. There's some sort of paper trail, which can come in the form of text messages or whatever. There's a paper trail of some sort of demonic possession. I mean, obviously darkness around this case. There's false accusations going on around for everybody. I mean, come on, that's happening everywhere. This guy, then that guy, then this guy, and that guy. And let's try not to impinge on the investigation and point fingers and make people run. And because they're right next to Mexico. I mean, come on, let's be smart about it. Secret. There's some kind of secret around this because I always get this card. And we got the fired card, so that could also be like, you know, you're taken out, you're fired. That kind of thing. The government agency, I always get that. It could be that they're, you know, because the government agency is involved, FBI is involved, whatever, or it could be that maybe he was, I don't know, undercover somehow. I don't know. I don't understand this card. I'm just going to say I always get the government agency. It could mean a lot of different things. You know, it could be that, like, he was telling a government agent some stuff, or again, it could just be that we have the government agency involved, but you know, we have an incoming message here, so that could be in so many different things. Like, you know, they got the message to go wherever they were going to go. So I think that might be what it revolves around, is that's how why they went where they went, and I think they were coming right back. That's the way that it comes in. And then mental health, so obviously. Okay, now we have just the justice card always comes in. We have physical evidence, and there's going to be justice because they're going to have physical evidence. They have planted evidence, so they might have, like, you know, they did kind of, I mean, they parked them somewhere, they left the shells, allegedly, all of that kind of stuff. There's definitely money involved, whether that means, like, the dude was making too much, he wasn't giving his part, like, it you know, you all have to give your part. Maybe he wasn't paying off enough. He screwed, like, someone over in some way, shape, or form, or they just took money. Like, people knew he had money, maybe they just want to steal it from him, but there's definitely money involved. But I feel like there's so many different things around this, like, I can't just pin down one, because there's a bunch of stuff going on. And maybe he was stepping out on his flyer, on his dealer, on his, you know, on the organized crime he was involved with. Like, I take it as, like, I'm going another direction, having an affair in another direction. And then the government involvement again. So I don't know, that came in twice. And then we have these cards. It's killer may have an item belonging to the victim. So if they did take whatever they took, bones, wallet, jewelry, whatever. When I was in Autowrites, I kept seeing rings, and I was just wondering. There's a ring and a necklace, but the rings specifically, I keep seeing, and I don't know if it belongs, like, if it's like symbolic for something else. If there's rings that like that are missing, or there's somebody that's wearing specific rings. Because I kept just seeing rings on hands, and I don't really know. Victim stalked by killer, so watched them, stalked them. He could have followed them at some point. Premeditated, killer planned out the details in advance. So everything was planned, although it seems like it's sloppy. There's a reason for it. For some reason. Like I said, they were parked there for a reason. They could have taken them anywhere else. And this crime might be solved by DNA testing or other scientific methods. So, like in the last reading, I feel like they've got a partial print somewhere. And even though they wiped it, like, you can get DNA by holding something or touching something, and it can be anywhere. Like, a hair could be anywhere, and they didn't get the hair. Like, I don't see any of them wearing, like, you know, things. Like, DNA is so easy to, even though you think you're getting rid of it, a lot of times you're not. Even if you, like, there's, you know, touch DNA and stuff like that. Like, there's stuff that I think that they missed that's going to lead it back. Like, there's all this technological, like, digital evidence, and there's also going to be physical evidence, and there's also going to be, like, a DNA stuff. And I think, like, what I keep getting is like with Matthew, I kept getting like a muzzle burn. And then they showed me also the 2 flashes. So like when a gun goes off in the dark, it flashes. So they showed me that. And then like it's so dark, so I'm in somewhere, I'm in a garage, I'm in somewhere like that, but I pull up into it. Like it's weird. Like I feel like I'm in the car and I'm pulling up into it, but like I've got a gun pointed on me or some way, shape, or form. Like I feel like there was more than one person, because definitely they took his gun from him because he always had it. And when you're doing this kind of things, you always did. But I feel like he didn't really have it prepared, because whoever he was meeting, like he trusted them. It's just he got trapped, and maybe it wasn't who he thought it was, or again, the snake in the grass. So it's a friend of me, which came in the reading. But it's interesting because the friend of the sibling came in. So I'm just wondering about his brother knowing the person. And this will be taken care of one form or another, but I hope the cops take care of it first so the cycle doesn't continue. But it's like I keep seeing that same vision, and I know like it's obvious, but he doesn't show me anything like embarrassing happening to him, but I feel like he was maybe moved so that the person could drive the car. I know it's obvious, but I still feel like I'm pulled back, and then the gun there. So the person, I feel like, again, was in the back seat. I feel like it happened in the car. It didn't happen outside of the car. And I think evidence is going to show that. And again, it was supposed to be like, this is to look like this, because this is what it is. And I get like a message. That's why I'm wondering, like, is the message also maybe for like the families? Because the father on the sibling card comes in. So it depends on what father we're talking about. If the families are involved in this kind of stuff, like, is there another message to there? I get the red and blue. So, is there kind of a little bit of a rivalry here? We get revenge and we get the rivalry card a lot. And then, I feel like because of that, maybe there's just a lot around it. There's so much around it. It's hard to pinpoint like why it happened. But I feel like, again, there's definitely someone else that's pulling the strings. And I don't know if anybody's Catholic. I feel like I go like this. If that's something Matthew did or somebody else does. So that I'm not really sure about why I'm kind of getting that. And I'm just trying to pull in a little bit of extra things. I've got a really bad headache all of a sudden, and I'm really super hot. I feel like this was I'd like to know who is like in that apartment, or what, if anything happened with Matthew, like in that apartment area, like why there? They could have taken him anywhere else and no one would ever find him. Why do they want them found? There's something about, it's like, did their family do something as well? Because we always get the father card, parental figure, but again, that can be somebody older, like an OG, or someone that's an actual dad. Like, cards can have multiple meanings, just like readings can. But I feel like whenever I'm driven up, I'm literally driven into like a dark place. So it's like a garage or something, like someone's home garage or a garage, something. But it's like you would drive up into it, and it's so weird. I don't, but I do feel like I'm at a house prior. And I just don't know why it's always so dark when I see this. I don't know if it's just dark around the case, or they don't want me to see everything, or if it was like dark outside, like that's the timeline issue. I'm not really sure on that. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything else on this. And again, those names are not to point fingers or say, like, people, please don't freak out and be like, oh my gosh, she got those names, they must be the ones that did it. Like, don't do that, because again, everybody could run the investigate. Like, I got it because they might be connected to it as well, because apparently they've been cleared. I don't know if the family really believes that. I think
It's all kind of involved with the video of the people talking about, oh, did you hear about them? You know, I think it's kind of like that's why I got the African American guys. Like, there's more people that know about this and probably know what's going on, and I don't know if any of the witnesses would probably even come up and talk because, you know, they don't snitch. But it's like the streets know. That's what I hear. Like, the streets know. If the cops don't do something, someone else will. Like, that came in the last reading, and I know that's obvious, but I'm just saying. And I think cops are, like, they have a lot more than we know. Let them do their job. I understand everybody wants to internet sleuth and figure out who did it, but everything has a timing. Like, we're not the cops. We don't have what they have. They have all the databases. They have everything. It's okay to put our 2 cents out or whatever it may be, or like do readings on it, but not point fingers and, you know, try to give the victims a voice that's different, but we don't want to hurt or hinder the investigation. But, you know, the cops know a lot more than what we think they know. And I think they might have suspects or people that they're looking at or watching the way that they did DK. Because I think there's just a lot of evidence here. And I don't know, I think like something's going to come out soon. I wonder about tomorrow. I keep thinking like Thursday. I wonder what Thursday that is, though. So I heard 22nd as well. Like the 22nd again. Huh. I don't know. Because I know it happened on the 22nd, but I just got it again. So I don't know if that's like this month, and I'm not really sure. But I keep checking every day because it's like I feel like something's going to happen. Like I have that urgency, like something's going to happen. That's another reason why I wanted to do this. And again, it wasn't to like, please don't take it as pointing fingers or anything like that. Like, please don't do that. That's not why I'm posting it. That's not why I'm putting it out there. I'm just letting you know that I got it to show that this was going to happen. And that's the way Spirit works with me, in case we want to understand like how this stuff works sometimes. Because I know in a lot of different readings, I've gotten other things. Like, for instance, I got Brandon in the first reading for this. Well, there was just a guy arrested for this football player named Brandon. So it's just like a timing thing. This is happening at the same time, right? If you go back to Delphi, I think there's some stuff in there that fit. It has to do with the timing. Like this Delphi stuff is happening the 18th of this month. Like I was getting like Mexican M and I wasn't saying that was involved in Delphi, but it's just that's what came in the Autowrites. So again, past, present, future cases. As you can see, I get interconnects, including names and stuff that I don't know where they're going to fit till something happens. It's just the way that it happens. So just saying. And I don't know why it would interconnect Rachel's case, but it did. So I don't know. This kind of drained me more than I thought it would. I had plans to do other cards tonight. But anyways, thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you soon.